What if I told you that in the 1600s you could be accused of witchcraft and executed for things that today make you perfectly normal? Not for curses, not for summoning demons, but for your looks, your habits, your silence, even your love for animals. Here are 9 completely insane reasons you could be killed as a witch just a few centuries ago. And chances are, you'd be on the list. 1. You were too attractive. If you were considered good-looking and got attention for it, they assumed you used your beauty to manipulate others, to seduce, to control. They believed beauty was unnatural and dangerous, that it came from dark forces. So if men stared at you too long, or women whispered behind your back, you weren't admired. You were feared, and eventually burned. 2. You were left-handed. If you used your left hand to write or eat, you were seen as cursed. The left hand was believed to belong to the devil. It was called the sinister side. Anything done with the left was suspicious, so even holding a spoon in the wrong hand could lead to your execution. 3. You mumbled after an argument. If you ever walked away from a disagreement and muttered something under your breath, that was considered a spell, a curse. If something bad happened to that person days later, a headache, a lost crop, a broken leg, they'd remember your words, and you'd be blamed for it. 4. You were a good cook. If your food tasted better than your neighbor's, they didn't call you gifted. They called you dangerous. Because making good food meant you might be using unnatural ingredients, strange herbs, spells in the kitchen. If your pie crust was too perfect, your stew too flavorful, you were a threat. 5. You had a birthmark, or a freckle, or a mole. Any unusual mark on your skin was called the witch's mark. It was believed to be a sign that the devil had touched you. People would strip you in public and examine every inch of your skin. A simple freckle could mean death. A mole was all they needed. 6. You appeared in someone's dream. It didn't matter if you were kind, or quiet, or completely unknown. If someone claimed they saw you in a dream, and that dream was disturbing, you could be arrested, tried, and executed, because dreams were believed to be spiritual, and witches were said to enter them. 7. You were unmarried, or too independent. If you lived alone, spoke your mind, chose not to marry, you were labeled as suspicious. Women were expected to be controlled, claimed, guided, and if you weren't, you were dangerous. Being alone meant you had something to hide. 8. You loved animals, especially cats. If you had too many pets, they believed you were using them as vessels, to carry spells, to spy on others, to transform into and travel undetected. Your animals were often killed with you, because if you were guilty, they were part of it. 9. You were simply different. Different clothes, different thoughts, different energy. That alone was enough. Because in a world ruled by fear and superstition, being different was a crime. So, are you left-handed? Do you talk to yourself sometimes? Do you cook well? Do you live alone? Do you like animals? Do you stand out? Congratulations. You'd be dead.